Hey, what's up guys? My name is Moda and welcome back to the Mining Stacker YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to be talking about that damn FOMO and how it's going to play with your emotions and how to kind of just combat that a bit. Okay, I know a lot of you guys are feeling it like crazy. Been getting a ton of questions regarding people potentially making these horrible decisions. We're going to talk about what's going on. Give this specific example, which hint, it's with Scrypt ASICS. Talk about just things to consider, what to look at, and what may potentially happen here. Okay, so if that sounds good, guys, stay tuned. Let's get right to this thing. So I've been getting a ton of emails. Everybody trying to ask, like, oh, should I buy now? Should I buy now? Okay, Doge has already pumped massively. Okay, it hit 44 cents sometime last night. This is the thing. This is why we focus on getting in before these pumps. This is why we keep saying that the ROI boys, the ROI boys, are going to get screwed all the time, consistently, no matter what. People like to wait until the profitability goes up. Then they do their little ROI calculations and, oh, okay, now it looks good. Now it's too late. Okay, so not to say that there's still not money to be made, right? Even paying some of these crazy prices, you could potentially still make out. But it's the equivalent of waiting till Bitcoin hits 90K or probably pretty soon 100K to finally bite and jump in, instead of buying when it was at 60, buying when it was at 50, buying when it was at 30, buying when it was at 20, buying when it was at 15. Especially for those of you who have been in the game this entire time. Okay, it's one thing if you're new and you just got in the game, a little more understandable, right? You're just kind of learning it. But you guys who have been here this whole time and you're trying to buy these crazy prices, it's like, bros, like, get that FOMO in check. Get those emotions in check, especially for you guys who have been around. Okay, so again, to each their own. You do you, I'm going to do me. But just, if you're asking me for my opinion, asking the thought process here, this is it. Okay, so again, it has pumped and it's to the point, in my opinion, we're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just buy the coin. Again, same process here, right? It's one of those things where if Doge remains in this range, in the 35+ cent range, from here on out and only goes up from here, then it's kind of one of those things where you potentially missed it, right? Realistically, you should have been buying when this thing was under 10 cents for the longest. About a nickel for a while, 8 cents, 7 cents. Like, that was the time to speculate, the time to jump in, again, before the pumps, right? So this is why my personal deadline, for you guys who've been watching for ASICs, was September, October, just to kind of avoid all of this mess that's happening and that's going to happen. And that's probably going to also happen here. Okay, so that's why we stress so much. When you're looking at calculations, when you're looking at like, oh, does this one make sense? Focus on the yield and what you think that yield is going to be worth. For again, all you ROI boys, ROI boys, this is why you guys tend to fail so bad, because you get in at the peak, right? And then this whole time you're trying to recover. And then you just end up being our exit liquidity for all who've been stacking these past 2 years in the bull market. Okay, it is really that simple. Okay, because again, even looking at the calculators, if you look at the yield, has the yield really changed that much in these past few weeks? No. What has changed is the profitability. Okay, and that's why I don't focus on that. We focus on the yield. I don't even look at like the daily emissions. People focus so much on the daily emissions. That's also a silly thing to look at, because again, if the coin does a 2, 3, 4x pump in the matter of weeks, all of that changes, right? But if you're focusing on the yield, has that really changed? No. It's just sometimes the pump comes sooner than later. In this case, it came hard and heavy as fuck. So those of you who have been stacking, those of you who bought the L7 back when it was 2, 3K these past 2 years, looking extremely good. Those of you who guys got in before this pump, looking extremely good. And especially now, right? So this is the thing, is that now that this number looks good, this is now why people want it, when even though the yield numbers have been the same. Okay, focus on the yield, guys. Like, get in that plan, get in that game plan. If the risk to reward makes sense, that's when you jump in, not after this. Okay, again, it's the same comparison as buying Bitcoin at 90K when you've been in the game this whole time. Okay, you still could potentially make money, right? Especially if Bitcoin does go to 150, 200 plus, right? But again, you're not going to make as much as the guys who have been stacking when it was at 15K or prior to then, or had some from the previous cycle. Okay, this is where the difference maker is, right? This is the difference between the ones who do okay, they get some, or maybe not even make their return, and the ones who do extremely well. Okay, so because of all this, what we're kind of alluding to is the prices on these damn L9s is just continuing to go through the roof, right? To the point where BT Miners, for example, has the 17 gigahash model November batch, 17,000 bros. 17,000. And a lot of the other vendors have similar price points. Okay, so it's not just them. This looks like this was an increase pretty much to the majority of them for this batch. Okay, even Cool Dragon, which is another typically one of the cheaper ones, 16 gigahash model, November batch, 16.8. Some of them aren't even listing because they have it listed as sold out. So it may have sold out prior to that, or maybe they're reassessing because, again, these prices are crazy. And they have to try to see what their allocation is going to be, right? A lot of the times when this happens, the mania happens. Everybody gets in, everybody wants them, and some of them don't want to oversell. Okay, same thing with CMC. Nhash still has it listed at the 11.3 price. Do not be surprised if this changes, even just here in the next few minutes. Again, yesterday when I checked the prices early in the morning, it was one price, and then like an hour later, it was another price. Okay, don't be surprised to, again, see them reflect something similar up to them as well. Okay, and again, just remember, whoever you are purchasing from, a lot of the times, this is the price they're getting from Bitmain. This is the price that they're getting from where they're getting them from, not necessarily the reseller themselves. Another reason we wanted to get in before the pumps is to avoid all the shenanigans, all the BS that happens, and what we're saying with that is potential delays. Okay, and again, this is another one that honestly, bros, like that January batch, looking pretty sketchy, especially for any guys who got it at 6K. Hopefully they fulfill, but if a big mining manufacturer, not manufacturer, a big mining company, let's say Mara, let's say one of these others, puts in a $500 million order for a futures batch, what do you think they're going to fulfill first? Okay, you're going to see magically, oh, there were delays. What do you think's happening, right? We've seen it before. It's not like something that's happened. It's happened to me personally. Any of you guys who got in on like the K7 batches, the KA3, when they were first pre-ordering, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's what ended up happening there also. Okay, the pre-orders came out, was supposed to come out at a certain time. They delayed everybody by like 3-4 months, except for, guess who? Some of those mining farms, right? It was KMC and like, what was the other ones, like Hash Frog or something like that? They got theirs. They had theirs early and in time. Everybody else got pushed back 3-4 months. Okay, we've seen it happen. It's not something new. And again, it's not going to be the reseller's fault because we're probably going to see the same thing where it's every reseller has the same potential delays. And again, it's not for sure. Hopefully they do fulfill. Hopefully they fulfill those prices. Hopefully we do get them in January. But just don't be surprised if that bullshit happens. Okay, again, it's something we've seen, and this is why I didn't want to be buying any of these big boy ASICs during this mania time. That's why my personal deadline was the time that it was, to avoid all of this bullshit that is only going to escalate. We are now getting into that greed phase. So far, this is the first one. Is it going to be others? Sure. Is it going to continue to happen? Also sure. Have we seen it already? Definitely. Okay, again, this FOMO happens. I mean, another good example is with CKB, with the K7. When that pump happened in April, when it freaking went through the roof, again, we were at 0.003 back in January, and it went up to freaking 3 cents. Okay, massive run up in just a matter of months. So what do you think happened, especially at this peak? The prices went up. During this time, and even after this first little pump, they were still fairly cheap. You could still get them sub $2,000 new. What do you think happened up here? Prices shot up to like between 3 to 5K at the peak. And all that ended up happening is people got pretty screwed over because then the hash rate and difficulty went up massively because now all these new orders came in. And then what ended up happening? A slow bleed back down. Okay, eventually did kind of recover. It is profitable, never went negative. It was breaking even or better, which again is my goal. But again, the money to be had here is to get in before these mania phases. This is another one. This one happened first. Actually, this was the first big pumper out of the bigger ASICs. But again, the time to stack and accrue was this whole 1.5 year period when it was down in the dumps and barely break even. Okay, then at that point, we've really made out extremely well here. Okay, and hopefully we continue to make out well as this bull market progresses. But again, if you're focused on the ROI, and that's not the winning strategy here. Okay, we've seen time and time again, this is not something groundbreaking or brand new. This is something that's been around forever. This is the name of the game in the bear market. Okay, it's you want to stack, you want to accrue. So you're essentially in cruise control for the bull market, just sitting back and relaxing and posting screenshots of these pumps all day long instead of stressing like, oh man, I wish I coulda, woulda, shoulda. And then now you're paying freaking 17 grand for an ASIC that was less than half of that a few days ago. Think about these things, guys. Make that plan, get those emotions in check, and stick with it, right? Go see what makes sense. Again, it's potentially not a fucking $17,000 though. For you guys who purchased a little bit later, you know, when it was like under 10K, like 9,300, 9,500, hopefully make out extremely well. It's just, again, as the hardware price increases, it gets riskier because then at this point, what if we do retrace? Which again, that's what we saw with CKB. Another big thing though here, we are in a different phase of the market too though. Okay, we were still arguably in the bear market. We're in a different place with Doge here, right? It's expected that we do cut down a little bit. Even if we trace back down to 25, 30 cents, again, this thing was looking pretty juicy even when the price action was down here. Okay, obviously it looks amazing now at these price points, but the name of the game is to get in before these things happen, especially with these big, expensive ASICs. Okay, if anything, I'll mess around with the little guys or something else, but as far as the big boy ASICs, if the hype train is already on there, pre-ordering is extremely, extremely risky, guys. Like, it's a lot of bullshit can happen. We've seen it in the past. Don't be surprised to see it happen here. Again, hopefully everything fulfills. Hopefully these November batches do start shipping here, but don't be surprised to hear that some were oversold, right? This is why, like, if the price looks good and it's a pre-order, you want to get in early. You want to get in, be one of those first few orders. Okay, for you guys ordering these like past few days, hopefully I'll be praying for you. Hopefully it does fulfill. You guys with the January orders, I will also be praying for you. It is possible that they fulfill still. Not saying that they won't. It's just more of a don't be surprised kind of thing. We'll see, right? It's just risky times, bros. When things get like this crazy, this is the time you kind of don't want to be in, especially with the consensus all being the same, everybody talking about this the same. That to me becomes like a big turnoff, right? It's just, again, hopefully it's going to play out for you guys who bought it at a reasonable price, like 9K and under. Should make out extremely well. Because again, even if it does retrace, the potential is still there. It changes quite a bit though at 17 grand. We'll see. We'll see. At the end of the day, we have to see if people are actually buying them at this price. Because again, they can price these things at whatever the hell they want. But it's up to the consumer to actually pay these prices, right? So we'll see where demand is. We'll see what ends up happening. But just, again, the main theme here, guys, set up that plan. Get in before the pumps. Doing your calculations. Focus on the yield. Yield all day over profitability. Make that plan. Look at your own projections. What do you see it doing in the bull market? Because again, keep in mind whether this thing is making 70, 80 bucks a day or is making 20 bucks a day. As long as you're mining throughout that time, if it eventually hits that number sometime in the bull market and you're mining and hodling all that, it's as if though you were mining it at the peak price that entire time. If you decide to dump at that level. Okay, that's kind of a big missing key point here. It kind of depends on your strategy too though. That's why there's so much into this, guys. You have to come up with your strategy Your thoughts, not just now, not just these next few months, the whole scenario, right? Especially now, it's even more critical because these prices are extreme, and your max potential, I wouldn't say potential, but your max potential is these next 12 months, right? Which is why a lot of these high-priced ASICs for me, not super appealing, right? Again, the time to get these things was these past 2 years, stack with those, but to each your own, guys. Come up with your own strategies. Let me know, what do you guys think? Are you guys in the same boat? Let me know how many guys bought one of these. Please tell me none of y'all bought these things at these prices. Like, I mean, if you do, I hope it works out for you, and I hope you did your calculations and it makes sense to you. But I would not be paying freaking more than 2x on something that was less than half that a few days ago. Okay? Yield, yield, yield. Game plan, game plan, game plan. Stop trading or buying things with your emotions. Make those plans and make those calculated decisions before all of this garbage. Okay? But again, let me know your thoughts and opinions, guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I am out.